Good morning. Oh, are you by yourself? Ah, morning, Pearls. Mr. Nick, please tell me what's going to happen to Mystic Maya? She's still stuck behind a lot of, locks for some reason. I'm sorry, we don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple. Oh, I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those strict locks in the trading hall? No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be here in court. Then, how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby? I have to admit, it's kinda strange. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Edgeworth. What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Weird, okay. Our own client is... technically our own client is going to be like a prosecution's witness. Like what? The prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession, or so I heard. Franziska von Karma, what are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Franziska isn't going to be the prosecutor today. What? Then who is? Who else would it be but Godot? 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 I don't know, initially I said Godot. I mean, come on, it's a dot, D-O-T, but apparently the T is silent. It was Godot. Franziska is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern. The Sacred Cavern? You don't mean she's... Exactly. She's been out there all night, trying to remove those trick locks. With the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we will receive some good news soon. Yeah, thanks Edgeworth. Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. It's as if it's getting close to the finale of the third game. Maybe you've passed your quota to someone else, literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. Partner? Well, thanks, partner. Shake hands. No? Okay. I still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise Duxnem. I've always said Duxnem, but maybe it's like Dunem, you know? I don't know, it's like, maybe it's French? Dunem? I'm gonna keep saying Duxnem. There's an X, I don't know. Duxnem. No, I mean Miss Misty Faye. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen, and what that woman is really after. I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. That's what we're gonna do. Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple. Oh, okay, the old judge back. Old judge. Your Honor, what are you... who? Me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Okay, we did give a code to someone else after all. And he's your little brother? Are you Canadian? Therefore, I'll be standing in for him. The judge was Canadian all along. I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. Explains a lot. My poor brother. He looked a little bit pale, not to mention sad that he couldn't be here. Like, literally everyone changed. All of the characters. Godot is the new prosecutor, Phoenix is the new defense attorney, and the judge is also the new judge, so there you go. It is impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. Well said, Mr. Godot. I understood exactly what you said. At least until the end, anyway. At least up until the end. Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement. Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There is only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world. The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug. So then you mean... forget it. What do you mean? During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today, she has had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make. Confession? The defendant?
Iris. Why didn't she discuss this with me first?
Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. She was bribed with a ton of coffee. That's what happened. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
My name is Iris. I'm but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple.
Witness, is there something that you want to confess to?
Yes, but first I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore.
It's alright. What is it?
Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident.
Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Duxnam?
No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard where I desecrated it.
What? Order in the court, order. Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder?
Yes, that's correct.
What? But hey, it's better than being, the actual murder. I don't know. 3 minutes in court and I'm already covered in cold sweat. Everyone on the planet is accomplice to something. It just happens to be that in this case, it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Trite? That Godot.
So this is the confession they were conferring about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris's testimony was all a lie.
Is it? Oh, this is the regional weather data. It looks the same, alright? Okay, so lights out about 10 and then stay in her room. So she's lying about that? Oh, crumpled up and shoved into the bucket. Threw away. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions?
Iris is covering for someone?
Now I'm definitely up on the creek without a paddle or a life jacket.
I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Korean tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family.
I'm sorry, but main family?
Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself if need be to protect her. The daughter of the master of Korean channeling technique, Mystic Maya Fey.
Huh? Wake up and smell the coffee, right? She's naming Maya? I guess Maya is the culprit now, I guess? Or the suspect? Again? Order in the court. So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer.
I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes, and then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her.
That's ridiculous. Maya could never do such a... The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime?
Yes, Your Honor. I thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction. I went to the inner temple that night and saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver the fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it. Self-defense again, eh?
So it was in self-defense?
Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya.
You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You got the instincts of a true criminal.
Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night. And that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Okay. So she's gotta be lying, I guess. But she's saying she did go to the inner temple? Happened in the garden. Well, Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple.
Did she now? Too bad for you, what she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go?
It was in the inner temple's training hall.
A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That will be properly described as heresy, or
why say heresy? No, hearsay, I guess. Hearsay.
What do you have to say, witness?
I just couldn't tell him the truth at that time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend, isn't she? No, maybe. I don't know, it's kind of vague. I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder.
There. We all understand how difficult this is for you. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. What did you witness in the temple garden?
Well, Your Honor. Smells like heresy. Staff. You're saying that the victim attacked Miss Faye? Yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and looked like she was gonna collapse. What were you doing at the time? Why did you stop them from fighting? I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. I was in such shock.
That's perfectly understandable, my dear.
This doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute.
What happened after that?
Something's wrong. She moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. Wait a minute. What was this weapon? It was some kind of dagger. A dagger, huh? And Elise Duxton tried to stab her with this weapon. To kill Miss Faye? Yes, exactly.
You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce? I don't know how to say that. Worcestershire. Do you have a problem with the testimony you're hearing from your client, lawyer boy?
I have a problem with Iris's testimony? I won't pursue it for now. I want to press her other statements. Iris is my client. I better not press her too hard. The defense has no objection to Miss Iris's testimony.
You should try some nice sweet cafe con leche at least once, right? Very well, let's continue. What happened? Next.
And then, Mystic Maya, she turned things around and then she used the weapon she had taken and lunged forward for a strike.
Witness, are you absolutely certain?
Yes, but believe me, she had no choice. If Mystic Maya hadn't done something,
Maya Fei's name would have been written on this autopsy report instead. Yes, I see.
Oh, this is bad. I still can't put the pieces together. Unless I find a contradiction in her testimony, Maya is gonna get blamed for this. I only have this to say. It was in self-defense. So you're saying Maya Fei was the one who stabbed Miss Elise Stuxnem? Sister Iris, is that really what you saw? Yes.
Right. If your mug is filled with black and bitter suspicions, the only way to get rid of them is to drink them down quick. Like this. Yum, yum, yum.
I know that's supposed to be a metaphor, but I don't get it.
There's only one thing you need to get, right? It's called evidence. Now hurry up, before my next cup gets cold.
What does that mean? Is Godot waiting for me to point out the contradictions? I like to avoid the whole spirit channeling thing if I can. Not only would it be inadmissible as evidence, but I think it might actually hurt her standing with the judge. But first I need to pick her testimony apart, expose the unnatural sounding parts. I don't know why Iris would tell a story like this, but there are two things I noticed that just don't add up. Well, okay. Let's press this again. I do have a problem with this testimony after all. As it turns out. Yes. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony.
You do? But this witness is your own client.
Yes, well, nevertheless.
That's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that. Listen, Gramps, I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me. Okay, now, let's continue.
She threw her staff away and pulled a dagger from inside her robe. She threw her staff away. Mystic Elise was trying to kill Mystic Maya. I think that's why she wanted a more lethal weapon.
It's true. It's not easy to inflict a deadly blow with a staff.
Mrs. Iris, let me make sure I've got this straight. The victim herself chose to throw away her staff. Yes, that's what I saw.
Is there anything odd about that, Mr. Wright?
Yeah, it's odd, alright. Mystic Elise attacked Mystic Maya with a dagger. I'm sure of this. And guess what? There wasn't a dagger. There's no dagger here. You're a liar. Because she had a perfectly good sword inside her staff. Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events. Huh? Miss Stuxnem throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me. But all you can do with a staff is hit someone. Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. Sword cane, or cane sword? If Elise Stuxnem really had wanted to kill Maya Fei, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say?
That was an impressive bit of investigating, right? I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that staff.
Yeah, no one knew except us and Gumshoe. I wonder if that makes it inadmissible in court. I don't know. We were kind of hiding it until now.
But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade.
Well, it's kinda true.
Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony.
But there is something strange about this whole testimony.
Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point.
Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument. Mr. Wright, I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony can't be trusted. Because Miss Elise Duxton would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey. Okay, I was thinking something else actually. Another thing I was thinking about is the fact that she was stabbed in the back. Like, if Maya, supposedly stole a knife or any kind of weapon and attacked the back, why would she be stabbed in the back? But I guess, I feel like Phoenix is saying it's from Phoenix is attempting another line of reason. Because Miss Elise Duxton would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey. I guess motive? I mean, the fact is that, she's the Korean master? I mean, do I show this or the hanging scroll? The image is obscured though. I mean, the only reason we know she's basically Maya's mother, she's Misty Fey, basically. Real name Misty Fey. Do I show this or this? Maya's mother. I mean, it makes sense here, right? I mean, I think either this or this, but... hopefully the profile makes sense. It does say right here, real name Misty Fey, Maya's mother, you know? Elise Duxton would never have attacked Maya Fey. How can you be so sure? Because the victim's real name was not Elise Duxton. Her real name was... Misty Fey.
Fey?
No. Not Misty Fey.
Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to...
Well, Misty Fey is the master of the Korean channeling technique. She's also... the mother of Maya Fey.
Are you serious?
Is it really true? Mr. Wright, was Elise Duxton actually the great Mystic Misty? There's no doubt about it. It looks like Iris had no idea. I can hardly believe it. The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one she hasn't seen in 17 years, perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing.
Order in the court. Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented, one, that the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and two, that the two people battling to the death were mother and daughter. Despite the facts being believable when taken on their own, when taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. Listen, there's nothing in this world that's impossible, except for one little thing.
Yes, what is this one little impossible thing?
You still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under-roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps.
Could you get to your point? Stop talking about your coffee.
I heard this witness's confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee.
8th cup?
You want to ruin your health, my friend. Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty. Is that the dagger the witness that testified to seeing? Obviously, Your Honor. But do you not notice something else? Now that you mention it, if you look closely, there appears to be blood on it.
Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene.
Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene?
Huh? The pine tree?
The dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree, where the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women. This little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree. Okay. I guess we didn't see that. Which means the blood on this dagger belongs to the victim, correct? Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. Didn't you say it was your 8th just a few minutes ago? I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed at such short notice. Well, in any case, the court will now accept this dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately. This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right. Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately. Okay. Now then, the testimony we've just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we could consider her testimony to be credible. You girls never lie. Ever. I don't know about that. In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court.
About what, Your Honor?
About the incident you saw. The battle between the two women.
Yes, Your Honor.
Woman. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of hard to pronounce. Like the singular form for woman and plural form women. Like women, woman. I always get that mixed up. Anyway.
Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with a staff. But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive, with her back to the stone lantern.
Pow! Kind of amazing. They had like a, you know, he's such a intense duel. You know, I don't imagine Maya to be someone who can like, you know, I don't know. Maybe she can, but I'm thinking like, does she know how to like fight and stuff? I don't know. That's why Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. That was a very heartbreaking story.
I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore.
That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Hit in the head. Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all this?
What do you mean?
Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle.
I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden's stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me.
So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey do after she was struck? What happened to the victim's staff then?
I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I really couldn't see. I think it got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated.
That makes sense. That will explain the need for the dagger.
Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. And then at some point, Mystic Maya picked it up.
Nothing sounds especially strange yet. What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her? You're saying that Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim?
Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger.
I still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point is just silly.
Give me my burgers or else I will stab you.
As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal. I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified. Your animal analogies have grown tiresome. You were the one who started it. Anyway, So after Maya Fey backed the victim with the stone lantern, what happened next?
That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise.
Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw?
Yes, I'm almost certain. Almost. The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who.
What did she just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely. Objection. We know that Maya Fey was at the inner temple that night, and that the woman that was killed was Elise Duxnam. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who? I don't have anything to counter that yet. Well then, witness, please continue with your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. The two of them faced each other for a moment. Then Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. Then Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground.
So she was stabbed in the stomach, huh?
Yes.
I mean... no? But let's just press this as well. Where did that dagger go?
I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see.
According to the detective who found the dagger, it was stuck into the pine tree in the garden. Most likely it was flung towards the tree after the struggle. That is the most likely explanation, yes.
After being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away? Now that I think about it, she seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while. And Mystic Maya stood there, not moving an inch. It felt for a moment like time had just stopped. But then, suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Elise fell over.
Seems like a reasonable story at first, but there's one thing that is completely impossible.
The very idea of Maya stabbing someone.
That alone is impossible, which means this faulty testimony must contain another contradiction in it somewhere. That's when she stabbed her! Right in the back? She like turned her around and stabbed her in the back? I don't believe you. Something about you just isn't right today, Iris.
Huh? Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake.
However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions.
What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony?
According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct?
Yes, that's right.
But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right? Yes, I think so. But, according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony. Now, you're lying so much. Why are you lying? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? It's simple. People are like books. We've all got a front and back. You get my drift? Is that all you have to say? I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind. Could you please knock it out with the cheesy proverbs and the illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful staff, the people fighting being a mother and daughter, and now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach. There certainly are some inconsistencies. Well, Iris, how about it?
Well, it's just...
If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee, but to pick out each one requires total concentration and the use of all the senses. Were you really concentrating on what this witness actually said? Prosecutor, explain yourself. The witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said, that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light. A light. By the way, did you know? Hazakura has a rule that on nights when an Akalo is at the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit.
I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for.
Well, if that's true, should the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly? Normally, yes, Your Honor. But according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern.
Impossible?
It hadn't been used in a long time, and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all. Most enlightening. Yes, that illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away. If the staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Is that right, Wright?
No!
Order. Here, Your Honor. Let me present the stone lantern as evidence. Maybe it will rekindle the flame of truth in your mind.
It also says Maya on it, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned that.
Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face? What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot? This lantern. There's something written on it. What? Why, it's written in blood.
Oh boy. So the judge didn't know about that yet.
Written in blood.
Huh? I don't know why Godot's confused. He's the one that submitted it.
It says Maya upside down. What the?
Oh yes, that's right. After being cornered and stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing that on the stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body.
It certainly looks that way. Hang on just a minute. What are you all talking about?
What? What are you talking about?
What do you mean, what are you all talking about?
We're talking about the message written in blood.
Nonsense. This lantern is as clean as a whistle.
Could it be? You can't see the bloody writing at all? Now that I think of it, you did say something to me yesterday.
My eyesight's pretty messed up. Even with all these huge goggles of mine, I still can't see everything.
So that's what he meant by that. Okay?
Oh, in any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know what the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scrawled this message on the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Godot, anything further? Mr. Godot? Okay then, let's move on.
Godot is literally shaking. She's literally shaking. And somehow I don't think it's from caffeine overdose. Okay.
I believe it has now been established that Miss Duxton was killed by Maya Fey.
That's just wrong.
But now it's time to turn our attention to you.
Yes, sir.
After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears.
After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Korean tradition, so I removed the body from the inner temple myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across the dusky bridge. Then I used a snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple and... I used a Shichishito to alter the way the wound looked.
So you moved the body?
Yes, I was raised at the Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fey clan. But even so, I never imagined that Elise Duxnim was actually Misty Fey. I've committed a terrible sin.
A terrible trick of fate. I believe you're looking for a twist of fate, Your Honor. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but... You were spotted by the head nun, correct? Yes, and that's why I couldn't go back. Your story makes sense, I suppose. I mean, it's still weird. Why would you go all the way back to Hazagura Temple to make the body seem that way? You could just throw it off the bridge, you know, but... Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. It still makes no sense, is what I'm saying. So you waited until everything was over before making a move? No, it's not like that. She saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising that she was a little timid. Yes, I suppose that's true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion. Isn't it your job as a judge to mediate the argument? It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me that it finally dawned on her what she had done. So then, you knew. You knew the significance of the name Maya Fey. Yes, of course I did. That's odd. I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position. Anyway, she was a very special person indeed. Why did you do that? Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene. You moved her body all by yourself? Yes, I did. It would have been impossible if it wasn't for the snow. The snow, huh? It's pretty amazing you could make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge. It looks worse than it is. It's surprisingly sturdy despite its age. It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple code. But there's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into the Eagle River? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hazakura Temple. I thought that it would still catch too much suspicion of Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible. Makes perfect sense to me. For the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge? The snowmobile. I knew that would show up sooner or later. Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge. And this is the part that was in question the other day. Should I ask for more details? Let me hear more about this snowmobile ride. Well, it was very cold that night, so I rode it all the way to the foot of the bridge. I'm sorry, witness, but now I've got a problem with your testimony. The first time prosecution has pointed that out. You know, usually we're the one that says we have a problem with testimony. Excuse me? Gado, what are you up to now? That night, after the head nun left the remainder of the training to you, she said she walked from the inner temple back to Hazakura Temple. Yes, I'm fairly certain that's what the record indicates. Let's recall her comments on the subject. Maybe, but when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there, by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. Now when she walked back, the snowmobile was still there. The snowmobile was in front of the main gate. This is one of those contradictions, wouldn't you say? Now the prosecution is pointing out contradictions. Order, Mr. Godot. Why are you pointing out contradictions in the witness's testimony? Let's just say I like things to be neat and tidy, okay? Well, maybe Sister Bikini missed it. Yes, maybe she didn't see it. You think she missed it? Doesn't sound right. Whatever. Even I don't think this is decisive enough to warrant any more time or effort. It's just, you better be careful in your testimony. That's all I wanted to say. A smart little cookie like you shouldn't have any trouble understanding that.
Yes, sir. What's that all about? How Godot want to give me a hint?
Very well then, let's continue with the testimony. So you transported the body by snowmobile, all the way to Hazakura Temple Courtyard.
Yes, I thought that way. Mr. Guad would never be suspected. That's why I thought, anyway. But then I... Okay. Is that what you were doing when Sister Bikini saw you? Yes, that's right. She probably thought the worst.
Probably? More like definitely. I see. So Sister Bikini mistakenly thought you were the one that murdered Miss Duxnam.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. It's my fault that this case has gotten so confusing. I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. Why would she want to do that?
There's only one reason I can think of.
I want to see this again. Let's ask about the tracks this time. If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right?
Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks.
This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride? Yes, I think they are. But I can only see one set of tracks here. I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple.
I see. Snow was still falling, huh?
And then when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks.
How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony?
When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. That doesn't make sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I like the statement Iris just made added to the testimony.
But does it have something to do with the case?
All will be made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record.
This should be fun. Let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we?
Yes, sir. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. There have been a lot of contradiction in your testimony so far. This time, are you sure it's all true? Yes, I am. When the murder happened, the snow had already stopped. According to you, that's why the snowmobile tracks were so clear. That's right! I'm certain of it. I think I've trapped her this time.
I see how you think. Snow, huh?
What is going on here? If the snow really had stopped by the time of the murder, it means there's a bigger hole in her story than that movie, The Great Revelations! I don't get this reference. I only watch anime, so I don't know what this movie is. But I guess there's a big hole in it.
Well then, Mr. Trite, perhaps you'd like to share your theory with us. Let's see what's up your sleeve, or rather, at the end of your index finger.
I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. Why would she want to do that? The snow had already stopped. When did the murder take place? 10 to 11, right? I mean... I don't know. She was murdered in the garden though, right? She wasn't murdered at the Hazakura Temple as we learned. So there should be more snow. It should have been snowing the whole time then. Or at least... How do I show that though? I'm not sure. Dagger... How do I show that I don't know, I'm a little bit confused, because at the time the murder took place, I'm trying to prove like, there was still snow at the time, right? It takes at least... well, I don't know. I'm not sure when the murder took place exactly though. It says 10 to 11. It's a bit vague. Actually, it was still snowing, right? Because she had to go she had to go between Hazakura Temple and Dusky Bridge, right? If she had been moving the body, you know, during when the snow had already stopped, that would be impossible because the bridge would have been on fire, right? Because it was 10:45. 10:50 is when the snow stopped. However, if she was moving the body, like if she was moving whilst there was like there wasn't snow anymore, then she couldn't have gone over Dusky Bridge. She had to have done it before, which means the snow should have still been falling when she crossed the bridge, right? No! Damn it! Ah! What? I thought that was correct. How do I prove that the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped? How do I prove that the snow was still going, though, during the murder? I don't know what you're supposed to show. I'm trying to say the murder took place somewhere else. Okay, I lose. That's fine. Whatever. Okay. I don't know, like, I just got immediately stuck there. I know, I'm so... You know, the spirit, any kind of like mystery, mystery logic puzzle kind of game, like Phoenix Wright, you kind of want to like figure it out, you know? You don't want to just guess willy-nilly. But I guess we might not have a choice, because I still don't understand what exactly I'm supposed to show. Do I show Bikini? Hey, Bikini! Look at her! No? Because I'm thinking like, we did have that exchange with Godot, you know how Godot was saying how Bikini saw the snowmobile in front of the main gate and everything, but not that, I guess not. Because, you know, Iris, I guess, deflected it by saying, hey, maybe she just didn't see the snowmobile, that's it, that's all. Okay, another game over. Game over! Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple. Maybe I should... probably gonna lose again. Maybe I should present this photo showing the tracks, because again, it does show that the tracks are covering my footprints. No, not that either. Guilty! Okay. I'm probably gonna get the most game overs in this case right now. Remove the body from the inner temple myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across the Dusky Bridge. Then I used a snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple. Did I present weather data on this already? I think I did. I'm gonna try it again. Ah! Okay, I thought I did that already. Alright. So maybe, I'm thinking, she said she dragged it all the way across Dusky Bridge. But if I remember correctly, wasn't there like, I mean, it was on fire, right? Supposedly, if she used the snowmobile to move the body before 10:50 p.m., that's when the snow stopped. If she moved it then, the bridge should have been on fire, basically. That would be impossible. Why would she move the body over a bridge that was on fire? So, I assume that's what the contradiction is. Okay, I guess I should have focused on that statement instead of the other statement. Alright. You claimed that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible. What? This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time. Yeah, is what I was thinking. I guess, yeah. Yeah, okay. So, I guess I should have... That statement in particular was something that was more had a stronger contradiction to it. That's what I should have focused on. Anyway. Why do you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and had caught on fire. What did you say? The bridge was on fire?
You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because of that lightning struck that the bridge burned down.
What? But it can't be.
Well, you didn't know, or? I mean,
it looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney, even though you kinda did for a long time, but don't worry about it. No!
Order, order, order.
The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right. The inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body.
Meh.
Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying, I will find you in contempt of court. Even though all the witnesses kind of lie, you know? Like, everyone commits so much perjury in this court. But anyway, do you have anything to say for yourself?
The only person here that's truly contemptible is you. Old man. Me? Well, how dare you? Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now.
Squat?
The important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right? Yes, of course, but whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Duxton was discovered in Hazakura Temple courtyard, and second, the head nun, Sister Bikini. Witness Iris desecrating Elise Duxton's body.
He makes a good point, on both accounts. That's right, I'm not lying.
What are you claiming this time?
I wasn't myself at all that night, so my memory is still somewhat hazy. I won't say phasey. Hazy. You have stood at the witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy?
It is only human to err. If you're so perfect, right, maybe you can explain this for the court.
What is it?
When the murder happened, the bridge had already burnt down. But somehow, the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick?
Not another magic trick. I had that last time. Well, not exactly, no. Now there must be some other way she got across that burnt out bridge. But unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth.
It looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. You see what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth.
Wah!
Alright then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more.
About what, Your Honor?
You have admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please, add an explanation for that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. Will this be her final testimony? Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Or are you saying that there's a way to cross the burning bridge? Is there? You can fly over it.
So it was just a misunderstanding, I see. This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident.
Okay.
It certainly was burned to a crisp, and one of those suspension wires even snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. Clearly, it would be impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge in this condition.
Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's gonna be deemed as the truth. And Maya will be accused of murder.
Right. I'm only gonna say it one more time. It is only human to err. And only humans can spot the errors of our ways. The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes. Alright, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination. Alright. Well, I have no health, but I guess we'll see what we can do. Other than walking away, there's no way to move the body. Yes, but if the snow had already stopped when the incident took place, I couldn't have crossed that bridge, naturally. But I think it's just like Mr. Godot said. The body did make it across somehow. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. But you seem to be quite sure of yourself when you gave your testimony. You said you were sure the snow had already stopped. I'm terribly sorry. I was wrong. Does she really think an apology is gonna get her off the hook? I guess that's it. Sorry. This is no joke. You're giving sworn testimony in a court of law. Well, Mr. Wright, let me ask you a question. Do you remember what the weather was like 1 week ago today? Huh? Well, naturally, it was, You see, it's not that easy to remember, is it? But if it had been some kind of special day, I would have remembered. For example, it was pouring rain on the day of my elementary school graduation. Objection. No one wants to hear about your childhood traumas, Wright. What? By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. If you insist on obsessing over that one statement like I just did a few moments ago, let's see the proof. Show some evidence that the body somehow crossed the bridge while it was on fire. Are you saying there's no way to cross a burning bridge? Or there is a way, rather? Well, I don't see why there couldn't be a way across. Mr. Wright, don't you think that sounds a bit silly? A dead body crossing a burning bridge. Did anyone actually witness such a thing in red highlight? Huh. Totally not a hint. If there was, I don't think you called someone like that a witness. After all, a dream isn't the same as actually seeing something. I've come all this way, so I owe it to everyone to figure this out. But how do you transport a body across a burning bridge? Even if I don't know the exact answer yet, it's okay. I'll start by examining all of my evidence and see where that takes me. I've got to be like a shark. If I don't keep moving, I'm good as dead. I mean, it's kind of far-fetched, kind of weird, but like, you can fly, right? Larry saw this? Was this the corpse after all? Hey, I mean, it seems too good to be true, but maybe this is the answer. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is the answer now I think about it. I could be wrong though. Well, let's see. Okay, it is. A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility. What? You're saying it's possible? Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible with your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen. Preposterous! Spit out that coffee. Who is it? Who is the witness? I can't chick it out here. I gotta keep on the attack and go, go, go! Go, go, go! Rush B! Mr. Leeks Duxnum's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Loris Duxnum. I say Loris? Loris? I don't know. Highly gifted apprentice. Remember what he said in his testimony. That night he was at the Mountain Shack, Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? No. That was last month. Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? Are you using this pathetic scribble to support your argument? Well, I mean, happened before. We did have a flying incident before. You know, like the cape on the bus. Remember, Judge? Maximilian Galactica. Anyway, oh, the judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Well, Wright, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything? Really? It was drawn by a 6-year-old? I think it looks pretty good. I mean, I can't draw this. I don't think I could. I mean, it looks like I guess it's like crayon-ish, like, you know, it's like drawn with crayon and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. The fire is pretty impressive. Anyway, yes, I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm gonna prove it. Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with a sketch? I mean, upside down? Why did Godot say that? Are you hinting at something? Alright then, let's hear the defense's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show? I don't think old Whiskerface is gonna forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. The sketch drawn by Loris Duxnam is evidence of nothing, a complete contradiction, or exactly what happened. I mean, I kind of got this before, because when you saw Larry wake up, like he said he woke up, I heard the lightning, and then he drew exactly what he saw, sitting from, like, when he was lying down from bed. So, I mean, I feel like, both of these are kind of true. I think I'm gonna say, like, maybe exactly what happened? I mean, of course the victim was flying through the air. You can see it right there in the sketch. Whoosh. Okay, maybe not. I was trying to say, like, something else. You're starting to remind me of yesterday's witness. What? Do you have any visitors in the air? Just so you know, we haven't discovered a giant human catapult in the inner temple yet. I wish they had. No trebuchets? Even your lousy lure, at least you're 1 cup's worth of entertainment. I think we should skip the penalty this time. Okay, I don't lose immediately. Okay, well... Oh, I didn't mean that. Okay, I guess we'll try that again. I chose the wrong option, I guess. I mean, it is technically what happened, it's just, well, you gotta reorientate yourself. Otherwise, I mean, it still is, you know, exactly what happened. But alright, I'll just choose that one. Something is obviously funny about this sketch. I'm no art critic, but even I can see that. No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Can I look at the bridge again? Is there, like, yeah, this photo. Yeah, I mean, you see these suspension wires over here. Okay. Loris, Duxam said it over and over, that this sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. It contradicts reality. This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger-pointing thing again. Okay, Wright, so what exactly contradicts reality as we know it? Wires. These wires are supposed to be on the bottom, not the top. You know? They come from the bottom. It's this wire connected to the bridge. The wire? Is that the thing that contradicts reality? It is indeed. Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Show us something that will point out how the sketch contradicts reality. What's the photo you just gave us right now? They're supposed to be on the bottom, not the top, right here. Wow! That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, correct? Yes, now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge, Jumping Jehoshaphat, how you say that? Jehoshaphat? Jumping Jehoshaphat. I don't know how to say that. The wires are below the guard wires. Order, order, order. This sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, is it likely that the artist just saw it wrong?
Or perhaps he just drew it wrong.
Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong. Phoenix wrong.
Well, with someone like Loris, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But then that begs the question, why did he make a mistake? What was the reason?
Are you saying you know the answer to that?
Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Loris was doing when he witnessed this event. He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never gonna come. He waited, and finally he laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Loris must have been at that time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did.
He was lying on his back? I can't see how it relates...
But it does, Your Honor. That's the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down.
Ah!
Is that true? Like when you look at it from upside down, is that... I mean, I don't know, it's kind of a weird angle. You look at it from like that way, it's like... I don't know, it's hard to imagine. Loris Duxton witnessed the event while he was lying on his back face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down. I know, it's kind of weird, because it's like a 3D space, right? It's not 2D, it's like, why would you mistake it as upside down? I don't know. So then this sketch should actually... I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Loris Duxton's sketch is like this. Wow! This is how it should actually look. Did we do something like that before? You know, turning the evidence upside down? I can't remember what it was exactly, but I think we did that before, in a different case. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge, it was actually swinging below. That's right, just like a pendulum.
Ridiculous! Order, order. Of all the things to say, a pendulum.
The bridge was burning to a crisp, there's no way to get across it. But if the body had been found in their temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side, and a pendulum was the only way to get it done.
Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff.
Yes, that sounds right.
In order to cover that distance of a pendulum, you need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you have to plan ahead.
The lightning strike that night can only have been an accident, so it doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, I distinctly I just flash back to something Franziska von Karmer said, something about a port. You didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them.
What?
I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there.
In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think the criminal had the rope on hand to create a pendulum? And the meaning of this is...
If you want to know where the rope came from,
it came from the bridge itself. It's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard. Wow, my beard is pretty glorious. This is one of the wires on the bridge.
When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Elise Dixon's body. Okay. It's pretty funny when you think, why would you do that anyway? Because there was simply no other way to move the body.
Mr. Godot, stop drinking the coffee and talk. That's a lot of coffee. It seems that Mr. Godot is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. It seems that the odds of a rope being readily available were very high, so I suppose that's not an impossibility after all. Possible or impossible, that's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question. Did that really happen? Wright, I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum?
Well, okay, well, wow, this came out of nowhere. Do I? Other than the actual sketch? Okay, now I was on a roll, but then I suddenly stopped. Do I have evidence? I mean, other than the sphere, I guess. I mean, the sphere probably came off the staff when she dropped on the other side, maybe? I mean, otherwise, do I have any other type of evidence that shows, for example, like the body was like tied to something, or I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, yeah, the only thing I can think of is a sphere that was found near Dusky Bridge. You know, if our theory is correct, that's why the sphere was there, because it came off at that very moment where she landed on the other side. Otherwise, I don't have any clue. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see it's one that was in front of Inner Temple.
So then what was the spot where the criminal?
Yes, precisely. Now let's consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point here, it would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point.
Did you say drop?
Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank. What? Why must you think something like that happened? Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance. What kind of evidence? Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death.
10 feet, huh?
That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to forward momentum, but they came loose and fell about 10 feet. Okay, I didn't think about that, but I guess that explains the bruises. And then, as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off of Miss Elise Dixon's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found.
Indeed, I believe it's already marked on this overhead map.
The crystal was found, wow. Precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed.
This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You have provided us with the way a body could have been moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive.
Oh yeah, that sound. Oh yeah, I was wondering what that sound was.
I thought this cold coffee might help you cool you down. What was the meaning of this, Mr. Godot? That was a dark and bitter guess that you made, Wright. But you forgot about one thing. Oh, what would that be? The aroma.
Huh?
A coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma.
The rest of the court doesn't speak Coffeenese. Can you elaborate a bit more?
If the criminal has sent the body to the other side like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it. An accomplice? The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge, so who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Wright? Mr. Godot is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do.
Yes, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice.
Very well then, if you please, Mr. Wright. Who was the person that received the body on the Hazakura Temple side?
I mean, it could have only have been Iris, you know? Because where's her fingerprints? It has the suspect's fingerprints on it. So could it have only been Iris, or there might be Dahlia? I don't know. Dahlia, Iris, Dahlia, Iris. I mean, that's what Bikini saw, right? Iris. I mean, otherwise, I could be wrong, but I mean, didn't Pearl say something about channeling Dahlia? But I think she said she failed it, right? She didn't actually channel Dahlia, though. I don't know. Can we say Iris? I hope we can. It can only be you, Sister Iris. Huh? Huh? But I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it. Right. Were you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on the cleanup duty in the Inner Temple Garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath. I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Godot? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim. Strange indeed. It's almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time. Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Using this sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I have established how the body was moved using the burnout bridge, which means it's now a fact that this occurred, something you should have already known. No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum. But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help, so you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with. Nani? What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright? Just rip off her face, and it's a lizard person. No, what kind of nonsense is this? You're saying this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple? Are you serious, Wright? You mean this woman is? There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing there at the witness stand, her real name could only be the other person that looks almost exactly like Iris, which makes me wonder who's channeling her right now, but let's not think about that. It's Dahlia. Only she can lie through her teeth like that, with a smile as bright as hers. I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. Hawthorne? Sister Iris had a twin sister, by the way, if you didn't know, and you're looking at her. Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless. It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh yes, I remember now. That case, 5 years ago. My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. I'm totally not evil. It's honors are mine, ha! Oh, no, not mine. Just raised back to the same old judge from 5 years ago. Still looks the same. But according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. Mo Shingeru. He says her execution was carried out last month. So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom. What?
Order.
Wait a moment. How can you? My sister, she's already dead. What kind of...
You of all people should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of the Kurain channeling technique flows within that body. The Kurain channeling technique? Now where have I heard that before? That's right, you're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium. What an exciting story. Exciting but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister Iris was. Well, if you're gonna put things that way, then yes. We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens. Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions.
What's that?
These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple. 2 of them. Even the time of the channeling was planned out, as soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 o'clock PM. However, Iris was seen before dinner time. That means the iris that was at dinner was the real Iris. And the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her, namely one Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you even know what it's saying, Wright? This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found the plans that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing the witness stand is the real Iris.
What?
Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the inner temple due to a lightning strike. It was later that the body was moved by a pendulum.
I guess we're just gonna believe that now. It's pretty ridiculous, but I guess that works. That's right.
Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far?
Yes?
After being notified what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. There they found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center.
Yes, I suppose. I can't deny any of that. Phew, thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced.
But something still seems off. Way off. I'm still not convinced that the Iris here is the same one from the other night. I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places in red highlighted words, so it's probably very important that maybe it's true. Switch places? Nani? How could that be? It's not like, you know, they suddenly, like, I don't know, the real Iris suddenly swapped places when we were looking or something like that. I don't know. To be perfectly honest, there's still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial.
Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia. I guess not, and it wouldn't make sense. Like, why was she... Because otherwise there wouldn't be 2 Irises. Because I was wondering about like that, you know, if she was like a spirit medium as well, and she channeled Dahlia, but that doesn't work. Because that would explain the 2 Irises, you know, walking about. Which means they must have switched places somewhere.
Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple, have there been any chances for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne?
There was one! It involved good old Edgy.
Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance. Oh, explain yourself.
Yesterday for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown.
Unknown? What do you mean?
What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely, unsupervised.
Well, who was it? Who would give a murder suspect time to move about freely like that?
I'm sorry, I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault, old buddy. But the person who gave Iris a chance to move freely was... Edgy Poo. That one time when there was an earthquake. Quite a coincidence. You know, if there wasn't an earthquake, I guess they could have swapped places, but... well, that's...
This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it?
Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not?
An earthquake?
Wow!
Earthquake!
She fled, she escaped, oh no. Yeah, that's why she left. We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there. You know, yeah, if they did swap places there... And I guess that explains the million of trick locks right there. Did Dahlia put it there? However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne.
That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here. No judge in his right mind would consider the idea of spirit channeling and...
Be quiet. There you go. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge.
That voice! I guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
Dahlia Hawthorne. At my current profession, permanently retired.
So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh?
Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me.
What is going on here?
Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought we'd meet again. I never thought we'd meet like this. How is it on the other side? You know, retired. You have like, you know, I guess we don't know. Because I'm wondering, like, you know, she's still like, why does she have to be so spiteful still? Can't she just enjoy her retirement from life? I guess not. But this time I'll end it for her and for myself. Okay, to be continued. Oh, Dahlia. How's that old song go? It's like, hey there. I guess her name's not Dahlia, but like, hey there, Dahlia, how's it going in the other side? No, I don't know. Anyway.